Day 12. Day 12 into my mental health leave. Today I want to continue on the topic about self-confidence. Yesterday in the video I talked about there are two types of confidence, right? The external type where people are looking to appear more confident. And the internal type where people are trying to feel more confident within themselves. Today I want to focus on the external type and expand a little bit on how do we do that? What are some of the things that we can pay attention to? I touched on it yesterday a little bit, but I'll continue on that today. But before I share my thoughts and reflections, I would love to again invite you to take a few seconds to reflect on this topic also. I'll give you one prompt question. What becomes possible when you are actually able to appear more confident? Now, I would love to hear your thoughts. Leave me a comment. Let me know. Okay. Now, let's come back to the question. How do we appear more confident? I would say I don't really have an answer because the answer to your question is different than the answer to my question. Everyone has their own answer. We need to put the question into context. But what I can talk about today is what are some of the things in the context that we can pay attention to in order for us to find our own answers? All right, so I think there are three aspects of the context. One is the culture. Two is medium. Three is people. All right, culture, medium, people. Let's expand on them. Cultural context, what does it mean? This includes different levels of culture, but basically it means the environment that you're living in, the human environment that you're living in, the culture that you live in. Okay. This could be the country, the society, the community, the company, the team that you live in. But why is it important? Because it defines what confidence means. Think about it. Confidence can mean very different thing in Japan versus in the US. Right? Confidence can mean very different thing in a very competitive team versus a very collaborative team. So the culture defines what appears as confidence. So culture context is where we learn this definition from. So what do we do? What are the things that we need to do here? We just need to observe. We need to find role models. We need to understand what is commonly agreed on about confidence in this culture. What do people agree on about confidence here? What does confidence mean in this culture? All right, that's the first context, the cultural context. The second context is the medium. The medium is basically the medium that you're using to communicate, is how you communicate with the other person, your target audience, right? So, we'll give you some examples. Email, you could be communicating over email. This medium provides very limited communication channels. Text, basically text, right? There's no facial expression, there's no audio. Well, maybe you can attach audio to it, you can attach video to it, but that's a different medium. That becomes a different medium, right? But email, you use text. What about if you're talking to someone in person? Then you suddenly have a lot other channels, right? The voice you can use your body movement, you can use the distance between you and that person or persons. You can use the space that you both are together in. Right, there are suddenly a lot of channels that are available when you're meeting in person. Another example is when you are recording a video and communicating through platforms like YouTube. Now, this is a one-way communication. me sitting here recording a video, I send it out, to a lot of people, but I don't get feedback. So there's no feedback channel, but I do still have the audio, the body movement, the gesture, the even eye contact. Some of the channels are still available, and some of the channels that is not available in person. For example, I can have a thumbnail. My thumbnail is also part of the communication, but it's not available when you're meeting in person, right? So the medium provides the channels, basically. So understanding the medium context, what channels are available, what channels play what roles, this is why it's important. So what do we do here in this context, in this medium context? Let's study what channels are available for the medium that you're using and how to better use it, and what can it do. And that's for the medium context. Now let's move on to the third aspect of the context, which is the people. The people, you may think, we're talking about the target audience because you're trying to communicate to your target audience, right? But the thing is, it's not just your target audience that is receiving your communication. Sometimes, maybe there happen to be some other people sitting in the same room. Maybe some other people happen to come across the video that you posted, but they're not your target audience. They just happen to also receive the communication for one reason or another. And why is it important? Because you need to understand that different people respond differently to what you think is confidence, your communication, basically, right? Different people respond differently to your communication. Now, but here, what really matters is the response from your target audience, not anyone else. All right. So on this level, what do? We need to understand what is important in my communication for my target audience. We need to study our target audience. We need to understand what's important for them, and we need to understand how we can provide this communication. So these are the three levels, three aspects of the context that I think is very important for answering the question of how do we appear confident. So if we put all these together, what do we need to do? One, we need to understand what is the definition of confidence. This is defined by my cultural context. I need to find maybe role models, people who are commonly agree as a confident person as the definition of confidence, right? That's the first thing. The second thing is I need to understand what mediums are available for me to communicate my confidence and how to use the different channels within that medium. Right? How do I use my voice? How to use my written text? How do I use my body movement? How do I use my eye contact? How do we use all these channels? That's the second thing we need to understand. And the third thing is to understand how our target audience are receiving our communication and what's important for them. And that's the three aspects of context that when we put together, we will be able to find out what are some of the things that I can actually do to appear more confident. All right. I say a whole lot in this video. I'll stop here. Let me know what you think. If you have any question, feedback, or thoughts, let me know. Give me a comment. We'd love to hear from you. All right. That's it for today. I'll cut it here. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.